welcome to the blank page. I have a special guest today. I have Ryan Fitzpatrick. If you want to introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Ryan. I'm going to be a senior at New Fairfield High School, and I'm happy to be on.
Yes, so I'm excited to have Ryan here today. So Ryan recently was mentoring at an amputee camp, which is really
Yeah,
impressive. If you want to go into details about that, I'm sure we all love to hear about that.
sure. Yeah. So it's a amputee camp called Camp No Limits. Um, I've been going there for maybe 6 years.
Awesome.
They have a ton of locations, and it's usually like 3 to 4 days. Um, but yeah, when I first started going, I was kind of like it was something that I really needed to just feel confident and all that, see all these people that are just like me and even have disabilities even like much more severe than me.
Right.
So it really just put it into like a bigger and different perspective. But now it's just great because like I go there and I act the same when I'm there and when I'm out like in the almost normal world. Like
Right.
when I was there, when I was younger, it was like I was finally be able to act myself, be confident. But now it's just like I'm that now. So it's really nice just being able to mentor these kids and show them what like give back what camp gave me.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
like these kids are probably like, why can't I be like everyone else? And it's like
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
the thing, like it's cool to be different. Like I know
yeah.
it's
It
me,
is.
like all my friends at school or whatever. I just have like I'm very outgoing, stuff like that.
Yeah,
My friends are like, you're just like different, whatever. I'm like,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good thing though, like things like
yeah. I
that.
like it.
So
Yeah,
I think kids nowadays just want to fit in. They don't want to be like, well, I look
yeah,
different than them or I act different than them. And I think that's like it's a good thing for kids to know like it's okay to be that way, and it's like
yeah,
amazing that you get to like share that and like you've been through so
yeah. It
much,
is.
and like I know
Yeah,
you're like in a big league for wheelchair basketball. I see it everywhere.
yeah,
I think I
yeah.
watched you at like Harlem Wizards or something. I was
Oh
like, that is
yeah,
incredible what
yeah,
you're doing. So
yeah,
that is awesome. And you've run cross country, right? I think so.
yeah, yeah.
That
I
is,
just
do
had
you
my
want to talk
first
about
practice
that?
today. Yeah. I don't really like it most of the time, at least in the start. It's just so
Right.
hard to get back into it. But it's great for cross training, and that's what my parents and my sister always says. Like my sister,
Right.
she did rowing for UConn,
Oh
and
my God,
she's
that's
like,
awesome.
yeah, she was
Good for her.
waking up early in the morning, all that, and she's like, she hated it, but like it just made her feel so good, almost like
Right.
just
Yeah.
working out and all that. So it's really good for cross training too. Keeps me just great endurance for wheelchair basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gets me in great shape too.
Right. So how'd you
Yeah.
start with wheelchair basketball?
Yeah. So when I was at Camp No Limits, maybe second year going there, one of my friends, he was playing for Edinburgh, a college that has it, and
Mhm.
let me try his chair. And like it was just shooting around. So I was kind of just not really into it. Like, but they had an exhibition game with Mr. Pardalis and
Okay.
like his forget what he called it. It was like his type of group he did that like fundraiser.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they teamed up with the Connecticut adult team, the Connecticut Spoke Benders. And at first it was just like, oh, you can try out the chairs, and then they let me play in the game, which is sick
Yeah, and you
because
did
I'm like,
awesome.
yeah, thanks. I never did that before, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. It was just super cool to just all the action and the like.
Yeah.
So many people were aggressive. Like I never thought it would get that like serious.
Right. And it takes skill to do. Like even like anyone who even tries it, like they're just like, wow, this is hard. Like it
Yeah.
takes a lot of like upper body endurance and stuff like that. So that's crazy. But like what are the mental challenges like you encountered like starting like wheelchair basketball or like cross country?
I guess like with cross country, I'll start with first. It was like always finishing last, I guess.
Okay.
Behind in the runs kind of, but like my family always would tell me like, oh, it's your own race kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
So just trying to see it as that most of the time. And
Yeah.
then with basketball, it was kind of hard to get into because I was always doing able-bodied basketball, and now I'm like in a wheelchair doing it. That's more like the physical part, but you know, really good positive that came from it was like seeing and understanding all these people's disabilities in wheelchair
Right.
basketball, because some people they can't shoot great because of like maybe they're paralyzed or something like that.
Right.
um so I guess you could say I became a little bit more understanding even more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which is great. Like you kind of like everyone's like going through their own battle, but it's like
yeah,
kind of cool in a way that you are like
yeah,
learning how to play a sport your own way and stuff like that. It's like super
yeah,
unique. And I think that's cool because like everyone's going through their own mental battles and like their own challenges, but it's kind of like you're seeing what you can do with the body you were given. And
yeah,
that's such an incredible thing because a
yeah,
lot of people are like, they're doing the same thing as me, and that is like impressive, or if not even
yeah,
more. Like that
yeah,
is
yeah,
so impressive, and like a lot of
yeah.
props to you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. But other than that, yeah, if you just want to talk about like your experiences and like how you're helping other people, like we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, I guess right now I'm just going into my senior season.
Yeah.
And season starts probably in a few weeks. And it's exciting but a little stressful.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to figure out where the best fit for colleges and also like if I can get into those colleges.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm going on a few visits in next month and the month after. So
That's
I got
great.
a lot to look forward to. But yeah,
Yeah. Are you looking to like play in college or things like that?
yeah, for sure. That's the
Good for
goal.
you.
Yeah, all those schools, the three schools I mentioned earlier have some pretty good wheelchair basketball programs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
is.
anyone could look up to you because you've been through hell and back, like
Yeah,
figuring things out, which is
yeah, thanks.
great.
Yeah,
And you're just determined and you're not going to let anything take you down pretty much. And I think that's
yeah,
what everyone should look up to pretty much. And
yeah.
it's just amazing. Like I'm speechless even talking about
Thank you.
it,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's
that's
just it's
amazing.
nice to show people what you can do almost. Because
Yeah.
like I'm going through a little bit, but like even someone without a disability can go through so
Right.
much more and just
Exactly.
still being out there and I guess working. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like I myself this past year, but years of my life, like I've dealt with mental challenges and like finally opening up about
Yeah.
it and like
Yeah. Yeah.
being vulnerable. Like anyone can have like those mental battles going on inside their head. And it's
Yeah.
like for people to know like you're not alone, no matter like
Yeah.
what you're dealing with, whether it's a disability or you're just dealing with other things at home, like simple things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think like it's good to like talk about it and know that like there's people with you and like experiencing the
Yeah. No
same thing.
doubt. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's really important. And like when you reached out to me about my podcast, like saying like this
Yeah.
is like good stuff, like it's just
Yeah.
real, like I appreciated that so much.
Yeah.
Like I was like to my
Yeah.
parents, like, oh my God, like this is amazing. I'm like Ryan Fitzpatrick, like this kid is
Thanks. Yeah.
like crazy, like awesome wheelchair
Thank you.
basketball player.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that was great. And I really wanted you on this podcast just to talk about like, yeah, like life can be hard, but I'm still going. So
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Like I was watching one of yours, you went out for like a run, you did like some run walk thing and you said it really helped you. And that's almost with
Yeah.
like the cross country. Like I this morning was the first practice and I was just complaining about it when I was on the way there, all that. But after it just feels great. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
know you just feel
yeah,
great after. And like I know like being playing Division 1 lacrosse, like there are some
yeah,
conditioning days you're just like, this sucks. Like me and my
yeah,
teammates
yeah,
talk about it, but it's like you get the opportunity to run, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
like
yeah,
we say like we get like 4 more years to play like the sport we love and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And I'm sure like you're like, I get the opportunity to run today. Like not a lot of
yeah,
people get that opportunity to. And I
yeah,
know like it can suck sometimes, but afterwards you're like, I just did that. Like I just feel
yeah,
better.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's really
seriously.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wish I did cross country too, even though I was a big
Oh yeah.
field hockey player. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I wish I did, but I loved field hockey too much. So
yeah,
it's an amazing thing. Like you get the mental gains from it, the physical. So that's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think I think almost like any high school sport gets you ready for the college, somewhat college sports,
Oh yeah,
right? You could
definitely.
probably talk a bit about that too. Like, was it hard going into like playing D1 lacrosse?
I would say it was a big transition. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh wow, yeah,
I mean, coming from high school and stuff, like you come from being like you're the best player in your town pretty much,
yeah,
and like
yeah,
you go
yeah,
into college and everyone is the same level as you.
yeah.
And I talk about this with all my teammates, my brother's girlfriend, even my brother.
Oh yeah,
You're all going to the same level, and every day, like a lot of people think practice is the easiest part, but
yeah,
practice is the hardest part because
yeah,
you all know your strengths and weaknesses, and like your teammates are
yeah,
studying film on you. But it's kind of like
yeah,
rewarding in a way because now you're
uh,
being like challenged even more, and you're like, all
yeah,
right, let's like go battle at practice today.
yeah,
So it's definitely a tough transition mentally and physically. But mentally, it's more like it's tough because that confidence you had in high school, you got to somehow bring that into college because you're being challenged in
yeah,
ways than one.
yeah,
But it's definitely you learn a lot, and I'm so appreciative. I can't even talk. Um, but I am very like I'm very thankful that I have the opportunity
yeah,
to. So
yeah. That's great.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
not many people can go play their favorite sport in college.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it takes a lot of work and like
Yeah,
a lot of drive and determination. But if you have the passion for the sport and stuff like that, like you can go anywhere. That's
yeah, yeah. And
so,
how was it like? I know you said you played field hockey, right?
yes, I did.
And like, well, you went for lacrosse. So did you do anything during the winter? And like, what was like your cross
So
training
I
almost?
actually loved my winter actually. So I was a big basketball player up until like eighth grade, I think. I just
Hmm.
wasn't a big fan for me, but
Yeah,
I like being outside on the field. I don't know, but that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
me.
yeah,
But in the winter, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, I would say, because like I got like a break from just the sports grind and like always having a game
yeah,
or practice. Like I was able to just be like, all right, I'm gonna get faster today, or I'm gonna get stronger today for certain skills. And it was like kind of like
yeah,
I was able to, I don't know, like hibernate in my own way and like
yeah,
get
yeah,
ready for my next season and like get pumped up and like mentally and physically ready. Because I think all athletes need that break. Like even Division 1 now, you get the summer and stuff like that. And like this summer, like saves everyone. Like you get that
yeah,
break, but you're still working out.
yeah,
So I think it's a period of just growth and like forming into your own kind of to be like the player you really want to be and like the person you want to be or leader on the field. So it's like a big growing period whenever you have a
okay,
break.
yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
yeah. And like you transferred, right?
I did. I was
Yeah,
originally at Army West Point, so I
okay,
have a lot of stories there, but
yeah,
just wasn't for me. I mean, happens
yeah,
to everyone, but I'm a lot happier at Siena now. I love my
okay,
Siena teammates and
nice,
coaches.
nice,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because like it's hard because like all the hype right now, like is like even for wheelchair basketball, it's like committing early and all that.
Yeah.
And like I so want to do that, but like I'm worried that I might make the wrong choice or something like that. So I
Right.
really got to just wait it out and see the campus, see the
Yeah.
coach again, team, all that.
Listen,
Yeah,
there's like no pressure ever. Like
yeah,
I ever since I started middle school, because my dad was he was an officer in the Marines. So I always
okay,
just wanted to go to a military academy and take the
yeah.
military path. Like I'm still looking at the military, just
Oh,
military
nice. Yeah,
academy ended up not
yeah,
being for me.
yeah,
But I mean, just always keep an open mind, especially right now. You have your whole senior year, really.
yeah,
But don't like feel like you have to make a decision right away. Like you don't
yeah.
need to be like, oh, I'm going to this school because like they really want me right away. It's like, no, like take your
Mhm.
time, like be like,
Yeah,
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 all these schools are looking at me.
yeah,
Explore all your options and like there's no rush. Like enjoy your senior year mostly, but I had that pressure when I was a junior to commit for lacrosse, and I was like, "Oh
yeah,
my god, look, this girl already committed, whatever." And I was
yeah,
coming
yeah.
back from a knee ACL surgery,
Oh
rehab
wow.
and stuff. Yeah, one of
Wow.
my most important summers. So I was behind, obviously, in the recruiting
Yeah,
process. So I
yeah,
kept comparing myself to other girls, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like I'm making myself miserable feel this way.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but it's just you have to go at your own rate, and whatever feels right to you, like that's when you make your decision. But I would say right now, I tell all the girls that are getting recruited now, I'm like, just enjoy it. Like, I know
Yeah.
it sucks sometimes, but like, just enjoy like people wanting you to go to their school and represent your school. Cause that's really big.
Yeah.
They're taking you on to like represent
Yeah.
your school. So it's really big.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I was so focused on like Illinois, Wisconsin Whitewater, and like CUNY
Mhm.
Queens College. And then it was Auburn. That coach just reached out to me like early August. And I was like, oh wow, like
Yeah,
it was nice to
right.
see that, because I was kind of in like a drought with talking to these coaches. Like I was just talking to the ones that I was talking to junior year. Like I didn't really have many more opportunities come up. So that was like such a good feeling to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
if you like, you keep reaching out to coaches and stuff like
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
you're gonna see big ones like that like come through, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh my God, like this is crazy. So just
Yeah.
go with the flow of them like reaching out to you and like
Mhm.
wanting you, and like pick their brain, like talk to them all the
Yeah.
time. Like my
Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
question for the coaches I've talked to, because I had to go through the recruiting process
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
after leaving the
Okay.
army and
Yeah.
stuff, I always ask, I'm like, what is one word you use to describe your team atmosphere? And some of the
Okay.
coaches I talked to were like stumped
Yeah.
on the question. And I was
All
like,
right.
it was funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the ones who knew right away, I was like, all right, I respect that. Like it's
That's a
little,
cool question.
yeah, it's little
Yeah.
questions like that you gotta
Yeah.
ask, because I mean it's big. Like that's gonna be your home for the next 4 years. So
Yeah.
I mean it's important. And honestly, you just gotta like go with the flow and like take
Hmm.
it all in. Like you only live life once, and I
Yeah.
think that's the most important thing. And I think in general, like today, a lot of people compare themselves to other people, and that kind of starts
Yeah.
like the mental downfall pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
When everyone's on like should be on their own schedule, and like everyone's their own person, has their like own qualities that make them them. So
Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Like
most important.
I've been doing that a lot. Past few months, and then like last year before, like for some of my good friends from wheelchair basketball got invited to this tryout,
Mhm.
and like it was hard because like one of them, it was like I was playing just as good as him, I felt like, in a game I played him. And now it's like he got that opportunity, I didn't. And it's the
Mm.
same with like the recruiting. Like some coaches want these guys, some coaches want the others. So it's just hard. It's so hard, like not seeing that and like just wanting it too much almost. Like
Right.
I gotta almost do it on my own path, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like I'm so focused on what they're doing that it's almost affecting like me. I'm kind of slowing down now.
Mhm. Like, I think social media definitely plays a big part in it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you only see like the highlights of people's life. And
yeah,
listen, like, this past year, like in the fall, like I had my Instagram since I was, I don't know how old, but I had like 1,000 something followers or whatever. And I was like,
yeah.
listen, like I deleted my whole Instagram and I have like
Oh yeah,
200 followers now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I was just like, I just like no, like I don't want to show people just the good parts of my life.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
should
for
just
sure.
be like your whole life, because it's just a bad perception thinking like, oh, this person's perfect. And like before I shared my story of my mental health and stuff like that, like
Hmm.
people, like close friends of mine would come up to me and be like, your life is literally perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with
Yeah,
you. And I was like,
yeah,
in my head, I was like, they
yeah,
literally have no idea like what I've
yeah,
gone through to
yeah,
like get
yeah,
to where I am today. So I just
yeah,
think like it plays such a big role in like people comparing themselves to others, because it's always like scrolling on Instagram, and Snapchat can be like really bad too. It's like one
yeah,
snippet of someone's life,
yeah,
and you just think you're not good enough, and it's just
yeah,
not true at all, because coaches look for like even little things like traits, like when I got recruited to army, it was like my power and like my drive, like little things like that. um
yeah,
and then those players aren't getting recruited because they don't see that in them, so they look for little things. And like
yeah, yeah,
you can't kind of like put yourself down because someone else who you think is like amazing, I guess, is like getting recruited, and they might be, it's just they don't
yeah,
have what you have either. So I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
important to emphasize.
yeah. Like well, what was so great to hear was I was talking to the Auburn coach, and when I went down to these camps last year, I went to Auburn in Alabama, in like the same week, and I was just like such a mess. Like I missed a shot, I put my head down,
Yep.
slowly push back for defense. It was just like so bad. Like it was
Yeah.
totally affecting my game. Even like the season before that, like I just needed to mature on the court.
Hmm.
Um, but it was nice because I was so worried. Like when he's recruiting me, like he's probably thinking from because the last time he saw me was that year, like last year, and how I was playing. So it was nice to hear him say, like, from what he's seen just on Instagram or some stuff like that, social media, that type of stuff, that he already can tell that I've matured. And just it was
Right.
so nice to really have someone see that when I was like playing so bad mentally, that now it's like I'm fully calm on the court. And I was one of the players at Wisconsin Whitewater. They were telling me at nationals, like I seemed very calm and collected. I was like, wow, like because that was not
Progress.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not me a
Mhm.
few months ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
So it's so nice hearing that type of stuff.
yeah. Listen, I mean, everyone goes through kind of like a period in their sports where they're like, I don't know, they're just off. Like I've been there. Like that was
Yeah.
me. I would probably say like this past year, I mentally wasn't in it. And
Yeah.
like in college or even like a time period in your life, like every athlete like knows like the biggest test is always mental. Like
Yeah.
I just think back to when like we were younger and you like don't even think twice about like a certain pass you're gonna make, a certain shot you take.
Yeah.
And like now you're just like, oh, I don't know if that was good enough. But when you're a kid, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
whatever, I'm just having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you just overthink anything. And I
Mhm.
think that kind of happens like you're just growing older and you know a lot more. You don't know that
Yeah.
much when you're younger. You're just like, whatever, I'm
Yeah.
gonna throw this ball and hope it goes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And like I've been there. Like I remember one tournament, junior year fall for my club team. I was having the worst game, one of the worst games of my life. And it was like
Yeah.
one of the biggest tournaments to get recruited, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully there weren't a lot of big time coaches, but there still were. And I just
Yeah.
like was throwing all my shots like over the goal. It was terrible. And
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I still get mad thinking about it. Like I'm getting about it right
Bet.
now.
Yeah.
And I just remember my dad after the game comes up to me. He's like, it's the gloves. You got to take off the gloves. It's messing up your whole game.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
like your parents will say stuff like that or whatever. But I mean, you live and you learn pretty much. Like I learned from
Yeah.
that game. And then I remember another game where I was like doing great, but then I came off the field like dry heaving because I was like exhausted.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like certain stuff like that, but you kind of live for the experience. And like
Yeah.
as much as it sucks to go through those like mental challenges playing and whatever, like I wouldn't like trade it for anything because it's just made me stronger as a player and like realize
Yeah.
how much I love this sport because I'm so frustrated that this is happening.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just normal. So,
Hmm.
which is,
Yeah.
yeah, you can go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like coming off like you said, like you were coming off not such of a great year last year. Like,
Yeah.
are you using a lot of that as more motivation now? Like that type of stuff, like to the sport
I
and just in like everyday life, kind of.
Yeah, so I would say yes. I mean, I just made like this whole video on my Instagram last night of like my summer and like this summer for me was truly about like healing and like
Yeah. Yeah.
getting back to like myself, but like a better version of myself.
Hmm.
Because even though I went through a lot this year, like I learned so much and I'm just like it's like I kind of gained a new perspective of like college sports and school in general just to like have fun and like don't take
Yeah.
certain things like too seriously. Like as I said before, like I have the opportunity to play 4 more years of like the sport I love, and like
Yeah.
not a lot of people get to do that. So it's definitely motivation for me to like go out and like play for a cause. Like my podcast right here, like I'm gonna play for that, and like certain college
Mhm.
athletes like Katie Myers or like Morgan's Message, like I'm playing for them. Like I just found out I'm an ambassador for them now. So I'm
Oh
super
wow.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. And so I'm gonna be playing for certain things like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want to have fun. And yeah, I'm motivated. Like there's certain things that I want to do with my life, but
Hmm.
I think my big motivation is just I've gone through a lot, I've learned a lot, and it's just I want to have fun and like play the best I can for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's like I feel like you would know it too. Like, I feel like it's important to like be selfish sometimes just for you
Hmm.
and like
Yeah.
to do it for yourself to grow as like a human being, but also like just to be a better version of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk more about like your amputee camp and like what your plans are with like promoting that and things about like things in that nature?
Yeah, sure. I mean, now like I have a lot of friends that they were going as campers, but now they're going as mentors, and
Right.
they're going to like maybe like they probably have like 15 camps, and they're doing that. Like they're going to every camp all across the country. So it's super cool.
That's awesome.
And that's where I really want to go with that.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna be like busy next summer with just I don't know, getting ready for college, all that.
Yeah.
But definitely after that, or even during college sometime, like just make that a goal, like to just be able to really fully be like a mentor,
Yeah.
like just
That's
have a chance to show everyone what's possible. Like we do this wrap up circle, and it's so nice to hear. Like one of the kids, he just had cancer, and he thinks just being an amputee is so like freaky and all that.
mhm.
And just not really having a lot of friends or something. And the parents said it was so nice. Me and my friend Matt, we went over to their table at lunch and we talked to them, and he was able to tell us jokes. I guess he loves jokes and all that.
That's
It was just
awesome.
so nice because I guess he hasn't like been as happy or just been able to have fun. And it's so nice that camp allows these kids to just feel so normal.
Yeah, right. And I like certain things like that when like amputee kids or whatever. I don't
Yeah.
like saying kids with disability because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think you guys do. Like, I think
Yeah.
like the stuff you guys do, like more than normal people too, or
Yeah.
whatever, is like amazing. So
Thanks. Yeah.
I don't like using that word personally.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
And it just like pisses me off when kids are like, I feel freaky or whatever. I'm like, no, like
Yeah.
it's
I
like
know.
sick. You can like do the
I
things
know.
you're doing, like as I said before, and like
Yeah.
I think like I'm using this word, like you need to embrace that and be like, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like this and it's freaking awesome. Like get to my level pretty much. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing as you, if not more. And I just want like little kids or even kids your age to embrace that
Hmm.
more because like
Yeah.
your story is like so inspiring to other people. And like along with what you're dealing with, you deal with like those mental battles like
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
else
For
in the
sure.
world. So it's amazing what you guys are doing. And I just think that's great. And I want those kids to know like you need to embrace like what you're dealing with. And it's like honestly, to me, it's kind of cool. Like you're learning
Yeah.
how to do things a different way, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
think that's great. But yeah. So do you have anything you want to tell everyone on this podcast?
Um, not that I can think of now. Just I guess some closing words, maybe like I guess what I get after I like work so hard,
Mhm.
like the feeling I get after I do something so challenging or get recognized for something like being a mentor or basketball awards, like that's so much better than like the hardships you're going through during that.
Right.
Like all like just knowing all that, like for basketball training, all that stuff pays off. And then just in like the everyday world, like just feeling confident enough that now I'm able to show all these kids that you can be confident, like
Yeah.
all that type of stuff, and just having that being noticed, and it's such a good feeling.
Yeah. It's like worth it all. So
Yeah.
I love that. And just like anything is possible, I feel like pretty much
Yeah.
like if you're
Seriously.
in
Yeah.
that kind of like gray period of your life or whatever,
Hmm.
like I've been through it. I'm sure you have, like you've been
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah.
like you always come out and like you're gonna be in that sunshine and things like that. So
Yeah. Like the
nothing is
comeback
ever,
is so
yeah,
much better. Yeah.
exactly. And nothing is ever set in stone. Like pain is
Hmm.
temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that's important to emphasize. But I want to thank you again for having you on my podcast.
Yeah.
I
Thank you.
was so happy you were like willing to do it and like
Yeah.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Like I was like screaming. I was like, let's go. I got another guest. So
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So thank you for being
Yeah.
on. And guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And we're definitely gonna have you on again because we're gonna
Thanks.
want
Yeah.
to hear where your future is taking you. We're really
Yeah. Yeah.
excited for you. So thank
Thanks.
you
Yeah.
for being on, and we'll
Been
see you guys
great.
later.
Thank you.